Balmora means a forest of stone. That's right. Love Balmora. Love Habasi the sugar cat, the Dumbner racist man, the naked junkie. I sure feel happy and secure going to bed every night, knowing that I'm gonna wake up in Balmora, Morrowind, and not, say, in, I don't know, Zhem, Kazakhstan. God damn it! Emba-5 is, for the lack of a better term, an urban legend in the Morrowind community, part of the folklore. But you will never find this on any list of recommended mods. A Soviet town in Vardenfell, what could be more ridiculous? The mod was first announced in 2006 by its sole creator, Ozone, in this here thread. The project is not exactly obscure. There are many videos on Emba. I watched some going into this, and I thought the mod would be good for a couple of laughs maybe. But what I discovered was an unexpectedly bittersweet story. Real-life Emba-5, or Zhem like it's presently called, was a Soviet military town in the middle of an inhospitable Kazakh steppe. Founded in 1960, its function was to support a nearby military proving ground, where the Soviet surface-to-air missile technology was tested. One other source also makes a mention of chemical weapons. The soldiers stationed here had families, so the town grew with schools, stores, hospitals, recreational facilities, parks, an outdoor discotheque. Some years after the Soviet collapse, the proving ground was moved to Russia. The town was renamed, and then it disappeared, only to rematerialize in Morrowind.
You're starting to fail.
The generic Gopnik enemies have godly stats. This is endgame content, which is unfortunate because Emba-5 is basically a walking simulator. It's not mechanically sophisticated. We should try to fit in with the locals, I guess. Yes, and the music completes it. The tracksuit unexpectedly gives us very feminine proportions. In the Soviet culture, the acoustic guitar is a symbol of male vitality. From the age of 14 or 15, a Soviet male develops an uncontrollable urge to play guitar. The sounds lure the female of the species. Eventually, a mating ritual is initiated. The male knows he has to hurry, because at that point, he is in the middle of his natural lifespan of 32 years. Container for very dangerous substances. Inside there are 2 medkits. The sprites were borrowed from Stalker. We can't get in. No interiors for this one. What do you think this is? Looks like a ferry, but it has sawmill equipment.
So what do you want?
You might have noticed that the locals are of the Elder Scrolls races. Well, believe it or not, there is an extremely elaborate lore explanation for this, and it has to do with the disappearance of the dwarves. Remember the Dwemer gnomes who created hundreds of complex mechanisms that work forever, like, for example, steam engines. Note that in early Russian fantasy they didn't differentiate between a gnome and a dwarf. This is not a Morrowind thing. Why then could they not create some simple gasoline engines, cars? They had these, but then they went even further in progress. So my town can be considered even more ancient than the Dwemer ruins. Hey, give me the gun. What is this? A Vintorez? Well, according to the lore, Dwemer made this. The performance in the town is abysmal. I'm running OpenMW with reasonable view distance, so this must be unplayable in the vanilla client. It says, Ozone is a homo. What if this mod is an elaborate way of coming out? But the real connection between Emba and Morrowind is this. Long ago, the gnomes, the Dwemer, settled on an island in the province of Morrowind. But sharing the island with the backward Dunmer was pointless. So the Dwemer made this uninhabited island their main fortress. They erected many of their mechanisms here, built a number of complex structures. It wasn't difficult to build aircraft, machines, not to mention some simple houses that even the most stupid Dwemer could build. The Dwemer housing, the commie blocks, are actually called Khrushchevkas, because they were mass-constructed during Khrushchev era. That was way before Kagrinak. A Soviet mailbox. Unfortunately, the text is unreadable. What you see is not Cyrillic, it's just a broken font. If you watched Mickey D's videos about Emba-5, you can spot the same problem in these. The mod was made for this specific version of Morrowind. You can find it in the depths of Russian pirate sites. OpenMW has a language switch, but it makes things even worse. The bug makes the dialogue unreadable, and the quests basically impossible to complete. But it doesn't actually prevent one from enjoying the mod, since this experience is not about the quests. These doors don't have a lock value, meaning they're not intended to be opened. LOL, a glitch in the Matrix. This one is a real apartment. Huh, a toilet, and it's interactive. The standard Gopnik crap in the dresser. Time works differently in Kazakhstan. Wow, amazing detail. Stalker assets feel out of place in this. Malish i Karlsson is a cold Soviet cartoon based on a story by Swedish author Astrid Lindgren. It seems to be completely unknown in the Anglophone world. The English language Wikipedia doesn't even have a page for it, but every Soviet child read these stories and watched the cartoons.
Я со своими дружками к вам приду и набью морду.
A kitchen. Let's see what the Soviet people eat. The fridge is not a Soviet brand. This mod is a fraud. I don't believe pizza existed in the USSR. Borscht is an East Slavic soup associated with Ukraine. Russian vodka and Zhigulovskoye beer. This used to be a popular everyman kind of brand. I suppose the American version of this would be Bud Light. When I was a kid, my dad managed to obtain a rotten husk of UAZ vehicle from somewhere, and then over several years he repaired it into a functional car as a hobby project. A water dispenser or something. Never seen those IRL. The bus isn't scaled properly. It's twice the size of what it needs to be. Oh my god, a non-hostile NPC. As a result of the famous Battle of the Red Mountain, all the gnomes disappeared, and the island with all the strange complexes remained. Smugglers, poachers often sailed here on ships and hid their treasures. Many, fleeing from slavery prisons, settled on the island.
You're on your honor. Don't press your luck.
This guy's a merchant, sells beer, vodka, and Adidas clothing. The Dwemer theory was met with some criticism from Morrowind fans. How come, if it's about advanced technology, it's always about the Dwemer? Why are all creators obsessed with this? Ozone, you are the master. Do something more interesting. Let's say elves against nomads, or even do Russians. And this is an operating industrial plant. What are they making here? Counterfeit tracksuits, I guess. Am I in Call of Pripyat? Very interesting use of the fog effect. What the fuck? No idea if this is somehow related to the chemical weapons thing, but I love the creative use of the Morrowind tools. A railway station. Emba Express 85, it says. Melancholic Morrowind music is strangely appropriate for this place. The railway begins in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't lead anywhere. But this middle section is incredibly detailed. It is as if this is supposed to mean something. It's like being inside someone's memory. My add-on development method is the most unique of all. The key difference is that I create my town with love, because I still cannot believe that it is no longer alive. This is why it's extremely interesting to me to rebuild the town from scratch. You remember so many things. It's such joy in your soul. Yes, these are the right words. My virtual Emba is a reflection of my soul, like all Embans. This is why I have such tenacity. In the thread, the author kept mentioning trains. Clearly, this is significant for him for whatever reason. There will be trains. There will be patrolling soldiers with automatic rifles. There will be airplanes and delta planes. The delta planes will be flyable. They can be upgraded with diesel engine or a jet engine. The latter is the author's solution to the player getting too rich problem. I have accumulated 60,000 gold in Morrowind without cheats. But what to do with all that money? Malzone asks a legitimate question. It will be possible to buy a home, so money will be needed with a minimum of 80 to 100,000 if you don't want to live like Fargoth. The content is compartmentalized by islands. Pretty sure the real step town of Emba-5 wasn't arranged like this. It's the submarine that's making these sounds. I assumed it was doing that to attract attention, but there doesn't seem to be an interior. I want to explore this prison. It looks amazing, but again, how do we get inside? But there is an invisible wall. So it's another set piece. The inmates are playing soccer, it looks like. A fenced house on a tiny island in the middle of a lake. As you can imagine, the overworld interiors are very bland looking. They have to be for performance reasons. A ship of some sort. I had to use the console to explore inside. There is no ladder or anything. Many models are clearly borrowed from other games, but there is a lot of stuff that I'm pretty sure is original, like this thing. This guy is the only person who looks like he might actually be from Emba. A working shower in this here apartment. The Soviets invented unlimited water. Ooh, let's take a closer look at this. Russian Maxim magazine, it looks like. Hello, girlfriends. North Korea 100% Jushi. Vacation with your own samovar. Now this is interesting. The second type of firearm we found. The Dragunov rifle actually does reasonable damage. Drums, like in Tam Rebuilt. The dissolution of the Soviet Union was followed by full-spectrum social collapse in several newly independent states. At one point, it became too dangerous to just leave your car parked on the street. So, entire colonies of these little private garages were popping up everywhere. The clothing looks a little too vibrant for Emba, doesn't it? At first I thought, cool, it's not just commie blocks, they had their equivalent of suburban housing. And then I saw the 3 rings. Hello everyone! I used to live there when I was little, from 1993. In 99 we left. I went to Cheburashka kindergarten. Post more photos, maybe I'll recognize myself. I lived in one of the 5-story houses, building number 40 I think. The kindergarten is a rare building in Emba that is actually shown to be destroyed inside, with broken doors and all. I plan to create a sequence, or rather a memory, transferring the player to distant past when Emba was not destroyed. They will be a Christmas tree with decorations and piles of snow. Interesting thing about the Emba-5 sewer system is that this is the only location in the mod that doesn't have Morrowind music playing. Not sure what this sound is supposed to represent. A distant train, perhaps. Probably a bad idea to light a bonfire in this enclosed space with no visible ventilation system. This is somebody's little private base. A Dragunov rifle, bullets, a detector from Stalker, a teddy bear, and a diary we can't read. Parts of the sewer system are covered by fog and are partially submerged in water. The Bosmer Gopniks attack from the fog, just like in real life. Do you know what this is? It's the Morrowind version of the train level from Half-Life 1 that nobody likes. Well, nobody except me. That level owned. The secret toilet proving grounds. The Soviet Union was inventing and testing toilets here. The sewer is a vast dungeon, mostly empty, with tons of hard-to-reach areas that have absolutely nothing in them. You can't climb ladders in Morrowind, so I'm not sure if it's even possible to get out without console commands or levitation. The night Emba is pretty in a commie block disaster kind of way. The Soviet missile carrier/launcher vehicle. Not sure what's the story behind the drog monsters. What evil lurks in Emba? A military general who was damned. The 3 elders who in real life cursed Emba because according to numerous rumors it was built on the old Kazakh cemetery. See this? I want to take a closer look at that picture. The commie blocks are connected by makeshift bridges. This part of the city has visible post-apocalyptic adaptations. It's very low res. I don't think we're supposed to be this close. What does it say? Gosdetstvo.ru. Gosudarstvo Detstvo is a still existing internet page about the band Laskavy Mai, which was a Soviet boy band from Moscow. The group disbanded in 1992. Genre: Euro Disco. The site was last updated in 2011. What's the situation with magic in Emba? Someone asked in the thread. In the USSR, it was completely banned and persecuted by the state police. If there are new monsters, then what about their souls? And also, according to my concepts, it will be possible to catch the soul of any creature in Emba, both monster and a person, because there was quote-unquote no god in the USSR, which means the souls of the inhabitants belong to no one. on. And what about the commissars who will tell you that Vivek doesn't exist and so on? We can't get to the soccer field because of the invisible wall. Most apartments seem to be in much poorer condition than the one we explored. Antenna Magazine, Legendary Passion, Encyclopedic Guide to the TV series Tatiana's Day. More adaptations. The makeshift wall looks like something out of Fallout. What does this say? The wall is a thin line between Emba and the dead Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is not capitalized. This town, unlike what you see in the lion's share of mods, is real. It was destroyed by the Kazakhs in the year 2004. By 2010, the population of Emba was down from 40,000 to 3,500. The town looks like it was bombed, says this journalist, describing burned-out commie-block husks, cows and donkeys wandering the streets, walking on broken glass. The equipment, the houses and even the trees are being cannibalized and sold. The town was mercilessly destroyed by the Kazakhs. Our equipment, everything was looted and destroyed. This entire downtown area is, in engine terms, an interior, basically a little pocket dimension only accessible via the sewers. What to do in case of fire? The sewer exit leads to the northernmost district, the power plant. Ozone claimed Emba is the size of 20 Balmoras. The new arrivals colonized the island, trying to make sense of the strange Dwemer constructs. It took many years for them to understand the purpose of the various apparati, but after that they began using the Dwemer technology and even built new objects. Thanks to the colossal technical knowledge of the gnomes, the island developed faster than any province, overtaking even Kirodil. Obviously nobody liked that. Not Septim, not Vivek, who fruitlessly tried to subjugate this very developed giant of a city. But the citizenry, thanks to the technology of the gnomes, easily fought off any attack. This former Dwemer city is always a target of conquest by the Dunmer, the Imperials, and most steppe nomads. Ozone is amazing at these flawless transitions between the Elder Scrolls lore and insane interpretations of real history. This is very easy to make fun of, but the truth is, by Russian standards, he's fairly progressive. But this is just the backstory. In fact, the plot will be completely different, based on the real curse that was put on my town by elders of the Kazakh community. The facts are real. See the forum on another website about Emba. Go to general chat, the best stories about Emba thread. A lot is revealed there. The Russians built Emba on the old Kazakh cemetery. True or not, I'm not sure, but there were awful rumors going around town. This will be one of the plot lines. You'll have to explore an old mine with many tunnels, find the damned general, and then the player will see the future where Emba is completely destroyed. But this all happens at the very end. Initially, the content will be about helping the inhabitants, saving them from Kazakh raids, because actually Russians were very much hated there. I haven't seen a single dog in this game. Our peaceful policies are supported by the vast majority of the planet's population, says the Lenin poster. Oh yeah, says this guy. Real-life Emba didn't have a nuclear power plant, but there was one in Stalker, so all Slav games must feature one. Spent nuclear waste for the development of small nuclear power plants, it says. I have no idea what this means. The control room and the personnel in charge. Tons of Soviet-looking computers in this mod, which is cool. Combat in Emba is... yeah. Fairly sure the real Emba-5, the town in the middle of the wasteland, didn't have a sub-base. And no, they don't have interiors. There is even a memorial to a submarine. I don't know what it says cause the text is bugged, but if I am to guess, this is probably dedicated to Kursk, that sank in an accident on 12th August 2000 in the Barents Sea. A Soviet ICBM carrier with a missile loaded. These are names or nicknames of kids from the local school, grade 11A. This says, Ordienko is a loser. Some areas of the town have working street illumination, which is cool, because I can say with a large degree of certainty that many post-Soviet towns in this region to this day do not have street lights. Market, it says. We are open. Please knock.
Speak, traveler.
When I was a kid, I used to explore places like this for fresh video games.
Sorry, stranger. My time is short, so get on with it.
All traders seem to be selling the same kind of stuff. Beer, medkits, counterfeit Adidas, quite a few new assets in the mod, both original and borrowed, but barely any new clothing? Turns out there is actually quite a bit of new clothing. It just didn't make it into the release version for some reason. Some of it is good, some of it is so bad it's good. Oh my god, non-violent NPCs that are not store owners. We're breaking new ground. Observe how he is holding the torch. This is a cool way to carry a torch. They have a quest for us, but I don't know what it says. Maybe it has something to do with the nearby sewer dungeon. What if this guy is the ancient evil we're supposed to slay? As a reward for completing quests, the player will receive comfortable housing. Houses with swimming pools, workout rooms. There will be a quest for reconnaissance of Emba on hand gliders. You'll get to ride a train. There will be many things. There will also be a base near the Red Mountain, which can be reached by metro. After playing Morrowind for 2 decades, this is the first time I'm learning that the game has coward dialogue. The NPCs throw at you when they're scared. I got an idea. Maybe I can make a small add-on before Emba, which will take us to Chechnya, to Grozny. Plot: Russian special forces are storming Grozny, destroying the separatists. Everything in the city is destroyed. There are burning columns of Russian troops along the roads. I love this. A Soviet town in Morrowind? Well, been there, done that. It's cringe, frankly. Chechnya in Morrowind? Now that's cultural. In another post, Ozone said he was building a starship and that there are plans for an asteroid colony. The starship genuinely looks like something Chris Roberts might make. Here's what the interior looks like. Star Citizen in Morrowind. No, I don't think the world is ready for this. The production of Emba began in 2006. Last time Ozone posted anything development related was in April 2021. This editor footage. There is a parallel Fallout 3 version he's working on. Seems like it would be a better choice of a platform for something like this. A video showcasing features from this version appeared on his channel literally a few days ago as I was finishing the script. A viewer saved a bunch of screenshots that I assume were posted by Ozone in the thread and were lost as photo hosting sites went out of service. I believe these are from one of the unpublished early versions of the mod. Special Team Emba-5 it says on the back, or beta tape player. This looks like a real-life map of Emba/Gem used in development. Ozone has a fascination with planes. Morrowind doesn't have vehicles or horses. It's likely the NPC was placed inside the plane via the editor. Here is the cockpit view. Not what you expected to see in the Mushroom game, I bet. I don't think any of this is implemented mechanically. Emba-5 doesn't even use the script extender, which is why it runs flawlessly in the OpenMW engine. These are Ka-50 helicopters. They were considered to be fairly advanced when the mod was still being actively developed. A Tunguska surface-to-air missile launcher. And this is a Buk or a Kub SAM launcher. These were tested in Emba Proving Grounds. Hello, Night City. An open-air discotheque. See that huge-ass weapon on the wall behind the lady? I have no idea how he did this. At first I assumed this was a Fallout 3 screenshot, but the user interface is obviously Morrowind's. This is crazy because it's very hard to add animations to this game. A series of screenshots from what looks to be a Soviet military hospital. This person was injured fighting this guy, I bet. Presented without comment. Well, goodbye, Emba. It wasn't a great place to live even before it was destroyed, but it used to be somebody's home. The mod's social media page became a place for displaced Embians to find their childhood friends. I was born here in 1975, and then in 1980 my parents moved to Leningrad. When I saw it, I didn't believe it. I myself once lived in Emba-5, went to kindergarten, even managed to go to the first grade there. My father served in Emba, and when I turned 8, we left. Are you from there by any chance? The purpose of the mod was to evangelize the fate of the dead town of Emba-5, and that was achieved. There are YouTubers with giant audiences covering this. The fact that it feels so silly and inappropriate to place a Soviet town in Morrowind ended up helping Ozone's mission. Emba as activism is a success, but as a holistic RPG experience, this has very little value. The town is mostly empty, nothing to do but sightseeing. The overpowered post-Blood Moon Gopniks are so shitty and annoying, I had to use the console to give myself 999 points in the axe skill, just to make killing them less of a chore. This is unprecedented in this channel's history. If you're gonna be installing the mod, note that it's not compatible with TEM Rebuilt, as it occupies the same space as some northern Telvanni territories. And for some reason, the author included 2 duplicate ESP files in the archive. You only need to activate this one, the one with the number. And one last thing, I set up a Telegram channel to back up Warlockracy related content, essential graphics, characters from games that allow to export/import characters, and so on. Once I feel it has enough stuff, I'll be offering access as a patron perk. Currently having an internal debate about the ethics of backing up near-extinct mods and even whole games, because in some instances, in most instances, it would be impossible to ask the author for permission. Well, plus Telegram is an inherently sus platform, but it is amazing for sharing files. Still thinking about it. Support the channel on Patreon. I am playing Stalker right now, cause it's that time of the year, so that's what's next. And the final word. Don't get too sentimental about the destruction of Emba, or too immersed in the dog person's perspective. The jingoistic culture this guy is so sentimental about caused and continues to cause a massive amount of violence and death. Seems only a matter of time before they beat the American anti-record. The ruination of Emba by steppe nomads never happened, but it should happen again.